So I'm already logged into Contentful, and I'm going to go over here and select a blog post where now I'm taken to my content form. On the right-hand side, we can see the LILT app. I've already downloaded this, and we have our two options here, which are sending for localization or generating content using contextual AI, which I will select today, and we'll see this pop-up window for LILT Create. So our example today, let's say that I work for a sportswear company and I want to generate a blog post about how to train for a marathon and hopefully weave in some of my own products within this blog post. So for our prompt, I'm going to say, write a blog post about how to train for your first marathon in 16 weeks. I'm going to include a little bit more detail because the more detail that we include in our prompts and in this LILT Create form, the higher quality content we receive back. So I'll say include a training plan broken down by week and example meal plan and any special gear needed. So from here, I will select a language. Like I said, we do differentiate between different locales. For our example today, I will do English US. Next, I will select a data source. So existing LILT customers, this is where we can tie back to a data source, which is a combination of your language model, translation memory, or glossary. You can see I have a couple of data sources available here, but I want to use my specific data source that has a specific marketing context. So I'll select that one here. As I mentioned earlier, we can also integrate with our brand style guide. This is something that's saved across all users in an organization. So because I have already used LILT Create on lilt.com, we can see that my tone and additional brand guidelines have already been pre-filled out here. So I want an educational tone for this post. But let's say in this context, I want a bit more of a casual tone because it's a blog post. And I already have some of my additional brand guidelines in here, which is to break up long sentences without changing meaning or omitting information. So I have that saved, and I'm going to go ahead into our advanced options. These are optional, but again, as I mentioned earlier, the more detail we provide, the higher quality content we'll receive as an output. So here for SEO keywords, I want to put in running shoes, hydration, and marathon. Again, I could put my own brand in here if this is my own marketing content, but for today's purposes, I'll just keep it pretty high level. I want this to be about 400 words. And for my blog post, I want to create some sections here. So I want to start with an introduction, and then we'll go into training plan, like I called out earlier, hydration and nutrition, and we'll end with running gear. So I have everything filled out here. I'm going to go ahead and click create, and it will generate my blog post. In just a few moments, we'll see text start to appear on the right-hand side, which here we go. We have training for your first marathon in 16 weeks. As it's generating here, I can scroll down a little bit so we can see we have our training plan, talks about what we should do each week, our hydration and nutrition, running gear, and we have our tags for our SEO tags right at the bottom.